Where are we headed?
We are on our way right now to go pick up a matching nightstand set.
Now, what did you promise me since I came with you?
Starbucks. Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Crystal with Crystal Thrifts and Flips. What I do on this channel is basically transform different pieces of furniture, give them a makeover. So if you're interested, definitely subscribe, like this video, and let's get started. So we picked up the side tables yesterday, so now I'm gonna unload them.
Ten years later.
Now I won't admit to how long these actually stayed right here on the front porch, but let's just say it was too long. These side tables right here were actually headed for the trash. A friend of mine found them near her house on the side of the road and picked them up for me, so thank you so much. That was so sweet of her. Overall, they were in pretty decent condition, you know, a few scratches, dents, and definitely a good cleaning was needed, but nothing that we couldn't fix. So let's get started. So before I give these side tables the much needed makeover that they deserve, the first thing I'm going to do, because they were found on the side of the road and because they've been sitting outside for a while, I am gonna spray them down with bed bug killer. I'm using this spray right here. I got it off of Amazon for around $8. So after spraying down my piece and letting that dry, I'm going in with my vacuum and vacuuming up all of the dust. I vacuumed them all up and found many spiders underneath, so that was super fun. And now I'm gonna remove these handles from the drawers. Next, I sprayed down the entire piece with crud cutter and wiped that up before I started sanding. Here's a closer look at some of the damage on this dresser. There's some dents, some nicks all over the bottom of the piece. There's a big chunk missing right here on the side, but we're gonna fix these all with wood filler. There was also this detailed spot on the drawer that was just flaking off with me running my fingers over it, and a pretty deep ring on the drawer from the knobs. But we're just going to start sanding all that down, and I'm going to start off with an 80 grit sandpaper for the whole piece. For the tops of these nightstands, I just scuff sanded it because it was not real wood. And then for the sides, I completely sanded it down to raw wood. I'm going for a boho inspired look for these nightstands, so I definitely wanted some raw exposed wood. After I finished sanding with the 80 grit, I went back with a 150 grit sandpaper to smooth out the edges on the top. And here's just to show you how the top was not real wood. So kind of disappointing, but at least the sides were real wood. I sanded down the bottom base on both of the nightstands to the raw wood, just like I did on the top around the edges. And then the rest of the piece I just scuff sanded, including the drawers, because I was going to be painting all of that. It was time for the final cleaning. I went in with a little bit of Dawn soap and water and wiped it down, and then I went back again and wiped it down with just water. I did decide that I wanted to change out the hardware on this piece, so I did have to fill in these two holes right here. I was trying to decide between these two knobs. I was going for a boho effect, so you'll see later which one I chose. My wood filler was a little bit dried out, but it still worked, so I filled in both of the holes, and then I went back in later with a second coat of wood filler to get a nice even finish. I did have something planned in my head of what I wanted to do with the back of the piece just because I didn't like how it looked, so I started to remove it and it was way harder than I was expecting, so I found some different tools and this is what ended up working for me. It was really stuck on there, but I eventually got it loose after many tries and a few rips, but we're going to fix those later, and then I had to remove all of the leftover staples. I had some leftover burlap lying around from a previous flip that I had done, and I had just enough for both of the backs of these nightstands, so I cut it to size. Next, I went in with the primer and I did about 2 coats on all the spots that I was going to be painting with my foam roller brush and my 2 zebra brushes. I primed the backboard and then I used glue to glue it down in place, and then I used 5-pound weights to secure it while it dried. Next, I measured out where I needed to drill the new holes for the knobs. I did end up going with the white knob, but I wanted to change out the color so it could stand out a little bit more and bring out the burlap that was going to be on the inside of the piece. It was finally time to start painting. I used my foam brush for most of the piece because there wasn't a lot of edges, and for all the edges that I couldn't reach with the foam brush, I went in with my zebra brushes, and I did around 2 coats on this piece. Next, I wanted to add some extra details to the drawers. So I had this lying around. I've had it for a while. I've only used it about twice, but it's a reusable stencil off of Amazon. It was only around $7. So I taped it in place and went in with a circular foam brush and added it to both of the drawers. There was a few final details left. I removed the tape. It's always so satisfying when there's a nice straight line underneath it. And then I had to cut off the edges of the burlap so it would fit back into place behind the piece. So I put the backs on both of the nightstands, but unfortunately there was some exposed edges of the burlap and I just thought it looked kind of messy. So my mom gave me the idea to hot glue twine to the sides of it, and that's what I ended up doing, and it just made it look so much cleaner. For all of the raw exposed wood, I went in with the specialty wax and this brush right here, both from the Chippy Barn, and waxed down all of that raw wood. And this just gives your piece a little extra protection without changing the color of the wood too much. And it also smells really nice. This was the scent lavender. So finally, I was almost finished, but I still was not liking the bottom of this piece right here. Even after priming and painting, it just looked kind of dirty. So I went in with white caulk and fixed it. And it's finally time for the reveal. So this is where we started off and this is where we ended. Let me know your guys' thoughts in the comments. I'd love to hear them. Definitely make sure to like this video and subscribe to my channel for more furniture flip content.